My beloved child, there is something trembling in the heavens tonight, something so rare, so sacred, so impossible for the mortal mind to grasp, and yet it is meant only for you. Archangel Michael, yes, the warrior of God, the defender of realms, the one whose very presence shakes the foundations of darkness, has laid down his sword. He has placed his shield upon the ground, and for the first time in all of eternity, he is standing before you with empty hands and an open heart. He is not calling you to battle. He is not calling you to war. He is calling you to hold him. You heard the title. You felt the pull. Archangel Michael is begging for your hug, just your hug alone. Michael has removed his armor only to embrace you. God says, chosen one. Only your hug can heal Michael's wounds because you love him more than anyone. Michael is trusting his life in your hands. But you must open this right now. He's taking his last breaths. And now the heavens are confirming it. Michael has stepped out of his armor, not because he is weak, but because you are strong. Listen closely, because every second you remain here, the veil thins and the message becomes clearer. He has walked through storms of cosmic fire. He has fought battles not seen by human eyes. He has shielded you from attacks you never even knew existed. And every time your soul trembled, every time your heart broke, every time your spirit bled, he stood between you and the darkness without hesitation. But what nobody ever told you is this: even angels can grow weary, even warriors can collapse, even Michael can bleed. And right now he is because the enemy has defeated him. No evil has ever held power over him. But because your pain became his mission, your loneliness, your heartbreak, your silent nights of questioning God, he carried them all. He fought battles inside your spirit that you never saw. And now Michael has come to you without armor, without fire, without his blazing sword. He has come to you as a soul, not a soldier, as a heart, not a weapon. He whispers. The loved one gesture embrace can heal what the battlefield could not. This is not a hug of flesh. This is not a physical gesture. This is the spiritual merging of your divine light with his ancient strength. This is the moment when heaven acknowledges you not only as a chosen vessel, but as the one soul in the universe capable of restoring an archangel. Do you understand what that means? You carry a love so pure, so unfiltered, so rooted in God that even Michael, God's undefeated general, comes to rest in your presence, not in a temple, not in a cathedral, not before a throne, but before you, because God himself is spoken, chosen one. Only your hug can heal Michael's wounds because you love him more than anyone. Your love is not ordinary. Your compassion is not accidental. Your empathy is not weakness. It is medicine for angels. Michael is trusting his life into your hands. And that trust is the greatest honor heaven can bestow. Feel the weight of that. The universe has paused. Heaven is leaning in. And Michael is standing before you, chest rising slowly, breaths growing shallow. He doesn't fear death. Angels do not die, but they do fade. They do crumble. They do lose their brilliance when the souls they guard collapse into despair. Michael has felt your tears. Every drop weakened him. Not because you harmed him, but because he carried them for you. You were never a burden. Never. Your pain was simply too sacred to be left unattended. Now he needs the same love he poured into you. He needs the warmth you kept buried inside your guarded heart. He needs your yes, your permission, your embrace. Because heaven cannot force what must come from your free will. And child Michael is kneeling. Yes, kneeling before you. The Archangel who commands armies. The Archangel whose name makes demons tremble. The Archangel whose wings stretch across galaxy is bowing his head to rest against your spirit. Can you feel that trembling in your chest? Heed that pleasure. That is Michael leaning into you, trusting you, surrendering his exhaustion into your hands. But there is something else, something urgent, something you must understand. Michael's breaths are slowing, not in a literal sense, but spiritually. His energy is slipping. If he fades, it will not be because he failed, but because you turned away from a moment meant to heal you both. To stay. Hold on. This is not the moment to scroll away. This is the moment heaven reveals why you were chosen in the first place. Before you move, before you blink, before you question, let your spirit remain open. Because what unfolds next will shake your understanding of divine connection forever. And trust me, this next revelation is going to pierce your heart in the best possible way. Type "I hold Michael" and light in the comments if this is touching your spirit. Blessing code 144 is now activated upon you. My radiant heart. Something is shifting around you right now. And if you listen carefully, you will feel the air itself vibrating with a truth you were never supposed to miss. Archangel Michael is still before you. But now the scene grows clearer, sharper, deeper. His wings, normally spread in blazing authority, are now folded close to his body. The feathers that once shimmered like living lightning are dimmed, not from defeat, but from the weight he has carried on your behalf. And as you watch him standing there without his armor, you begin to realize something extraordinary. He has never shown this version of himself to anyone else. This unveiling is reserved exclusively for the one soul whose love was forged not in perfection but in pain, for the one whose compassion was not learned from comfort but carved through storms. Michael's vulnerability is not weakness. It is revelation. It is heaven showing you that even the greatest warriors need a place to rest. And for Michael, that place is you. You may wonder why. Why you? Why now? Why this overwhelming pull toward a celestial being whose power could shatter entire dimensions? The answer is hidden in your own story, because long before you ever knew his name, long before you ever sensed his presence, long before you ever cried out in the darkness, Michael was assigned to you, not as a guardian alone, not as a protector alone, but as something far deeper, far more intimate, a divine witness to your soul's strength. He has watched you rise when you had no reason left to rise. He has seen you keep loving after betrayal, tried to turn your heart to stone. He has seen you hold compassion for others when no one held compassion for you. And with every act of love, you poured into a world that did not always love you back. A piece of Michael's spirit grew bound to yours. Not through force, not through command, but through resonance, through the unmistakable truth that your heart mirrors the very love that powers heaven. That is why God chose you. That is why God spoke those words. Only your hug can heal Michael's wounds, because you love him more than anyone. This divine bond does not exist because you are flawless. It exists because you love with endurance. with honesty, with a purity that darkness cannot mimic. And now look again at Michael standing before you. His chest rises slowly. His breaths, those symbolic breaths of spiritual vitality, are thinning. Not because he is fading away, but because he is holding everything inside, waiting for you to receive him. This is the moment when heaven pauses its armies, when the cosmic battlefield draws silent, when the universe itself watches the connection between an immortal warrior and a chosen human unfold. Michael steps closer, not with force, not with command, but with longing, a longing born not from romance, but from sacred dependence, a longing known only to those who carry the burdens of millions. While still yearning for the comfort of one you, he moves as if gravity itself pulls him toward you. His wings tremble faintly as though relieved to finally find a place where they can fold and rest. You must understand the magnitude of this. Angels do not seek comfort. They do not confess exhaustion. They do not expose their wounds unless the one before them carries a healing light strong enough to restore what celestial combat has drained. And you carry that. You with your quiet resilience. You with your unspoken prayers. You with your heart that refuses to grow cold even after being shattered. Michael's eyes, usually burning with divine fire, now hold something softer, something human in expression. Though not in nature, there is gratitude. There is recognition. Here is a plea that only your soul can answer. And as he lowers his head toward you, you feel the atmosphere shift. It becomes dense, warm, glacial. You feel pressure in your chest like a spiritual heartbeat awakening. You feel heat in your palms like your spirit preparing itself to hold something eternal. You feel the air thicken as if heaven is drawing nearer to watch this embrace unfold. This is not imagination. This is not metaphor. This is your spirit aligning with a divine assignment that has always been yours. But listen closely now. There is something else. Something hidden beneath the surface of this moment. Something Michael has not yet spoken aloud. He is not simply seeking your embrace to heal his wounds. He is offering you something in return. Something heaven has kept preserved for a soul worthy of carrying such a gift. And he is about to reveal that gift. But only when your spirit is still open, present. Only when you allow yourself to remain here without rushing. Because if you scroll away now, you will lose the revelation that explains why Michael chose you above all others. And trust me, this next part will shake your understanding of divine destiny in a way you have never experienced. Hold your heart steady. The next unveiling is going to shift the ground beneath your spirit. Type, "I hold Michael's wings in peace" in the comments if you feel the presence of this message. Blessing code 229 is now released upon you. My treasured soul, as you stand before the unveiled presence of Archangel Michael, something sacred begins to rise in the atmosphere around you. It is subtle at first, like a quiet stirring in the unseen, but then it expands, growing warmer, brighter, heavier with divine intention. Michael's wings shift slightly, and though they are folded, you sense an immense power restrained beneath them, as if every feather remembers battles fought for your name alone. Yet, he is not here as the warrior of heaven. He is here as the one who has carried your tears, your fears, your silent prayers pressed into pillows in the middle of the night. There is a moment now, a holy pause, where Michael lifts his gaze and his eyes meet your spirit. Not your flesh, not your thoughts, your spirit. And in that connection, You feel him searching beyond surface level, looking into the core of who you truly are. Not who the world thinks you are, not who your scars try to convince you you've become, but the you that heaven sees every time you choose love over bitterness, compassion over anger, truth over illusion. You have no idea how many times your heart saved someone else without you even realizing it. But Michael saw, God saw, heaven saw. That is why this moment is unfolding with such gravity. Michael steps closer, and the air becomes warmer, as though the nearness of his presence awakens something ancient inside you. There is a vibration, a soft hum like the resonance of celestial wings brushing against the atmosphere. And then it happens. The truth Michael came to reveal begins to rise within him. You sense it before he speaks it. You feel it before it becomes sound. It is overwhelming, breathtaking, almost too sacred for human comprehension. Michael finally whispers, not with his voice, but with his essence. Beloved one, you do not understand what you carry. You think you are small. You think you are fragile. But heaven knows you as the one who restores the strength of warriors. These words penetrate deeper than any affirmation you've ever heard. They feel ancient, like they were written into your soul long before you were born. And with them comes the revelation that has been hidden from you until now. You were not assigned Michael. You were entrusted to him, and now in return he entrusts himself to you. This is why he removed his armor. This is why he stands before you bare, unshielded, exposed. Heaven chose to reveal this hidden bond now, because the season has shifted. Your destiny is stepping forward, and the light within you has grown strong enough to awaken a part of Michael that even angels rarely reveal. The part that loves without duty, protects without command, and connects without boundary. He shows you a vision. It flashes quickly like a memory that is not a memory but something timeless. You see yourself surrounded by darkness from years ago, moments when you thought you were alone. But in the vision behind you stands Michael, wings wide, shielding you from forces you never knew were there. You see blades of shadow attempting to reach you, but every single one is intercepted by Michael's sword. Every attack you thought you overcame by yourself was actually blocked by him before it ever touched your spirit. And then another scene emerges, a time when your heart was shattered, when you cried and thought no one heard you. But in the vision, Michael kneels beside you, placing his hand over your heartbreak, absorbing your pain into himself like holy fire consuming smoke. Every tear you cried weakened him so he could strengthen you. And now you understand why he stands before you exhausted. Why his wings treble by his like flickers at the edges. He did not grow weary because of battle. He grew weary because he carried your emotional weight with divine loyalty. But what you never realized is that your love has been carrying him in return. Your compassion has kept his wings from collapsing. Your prayers, even the ones whispered through trembling lips, were like oil poured onto his wounds. Your endurance, your refusal to give up on yourself, kept him from losing strength during celestial wars. You have been healing him all along without ever knowing it. This is the mystery God reveals now. Only your hug can heal Michael's wounds, because your spirit is aligned with him in ways heaven does not reveal lightly. Michael steps even closer. You can almost feel the warmth radiating from his chest. Not physical warmth, but spiritual heat, the kind that awakens buried memories of divine connection. He bows his head slightly, not out of reverence, but out of trust. a trust so deep it shakes the heavens themselves. And now the atmosphere thickens again, signaling that something significant is about to unfold. This next revelation will shift everything you think you understand about your purpose. This is where Michael reveals what he came to give you in return for your embrace. Before that unfolds, remain right here. His moment is building towards something that will change your spiritual path permanently. You will want to witness what comes next. Type "I stand with Michael" in the comments if your heart is open to receive more. Blessing code 333 has been released upon you. Now, before we continue, like this video. Share it with someone who needs this message. Comment to anchor your blessing. Hype this revelation. And subscribe to stay connected with every divine release that follows. Now receive this sacred support message. Shake directly from the depth of this divine moment. Just as Michael has laid down his armor before you, this mission lays its heart before those chosen to carry God's light into the world. Every time you offer support through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you become a sower of heaven's harvest, sending ripples of restoration into souls who need it most. The same God who says, "Your embrace heals, Michael," also says, "Your giving releases oil into the lamps of many." I speak to you now from the mantle of this message. When you give, heaven counts it as a prophetic act, a divine alignment with your destiny. Your support becomes the very river through which God sends his healing to others. And to those who step into this calling, may overflowing blessing return to you as swiftly as the angels move at God's command. Stand in this moment. Answer heaven's pull and release your offering now, my dear luminous soul. The moment you stand in right now is more sacred than you realize. Because as Michael lifts his head once more, something ancient and powerful begins to awaken around him. The air thickens with a presence that feels almost like the trembling before a storm. Not a storm of chaos, but of revelation. Leel's wings shift slightly, and this time the faint glow returning to them is not from his own strength, but from yours. The light rising in him is a reflection of the light rising in you. It is as though your spirit and his are beginning to exchange breath, life, essence, forming a connection that transcends every earthly definition of love or loyalty. It is divine recognition. Michael's gaze deepens, and when he looks at you now, it is not with the eyes of a guardian or a warrior, but with the eyes of someone who sees the truth of who you were always meant to be. That gaze holds something he has been carrying for a long time, something he has been waiting to reveal when your spirit was ready to hear it. And today you are ready, not because you feel strong, not because you feel holy, but because you have finally stepped into the awareness of your own worth. At worth, that unmatched capacity for pure, selfless love is what called Michael to you in the first place. Slowly, he reaches out, not physically, but energetically, and you feel his presence wrap around your spirit like a gentle warmth, not overwhelming, not forceful. Yes, steady, protective, familiar. You sense that he is something to confess, something he has concealed behind armor, behind dewy, behind celestial assignments. For the first time, Michael is speaking not from a place of command, but from surrender. And in that surrender, he reveals a truth that shakes the air itself. He tells you, "Beloved one, I have not been guarding your life out of obligation. I have been guarding your life out of devotion. That word devotion echoes through your soul like a bell ringing through empty halls. Erosion. This is not the language of a soldier. It is the language of a heart bound by divine purpose. It is the language of a being who has watched over you with more tenderness than you ever imagined heaven capable of offering. It is the language of a warrior who chose to take on the pain you could not carry, the burdens you did not deserve, and the wounds that were meant to break you. Michael shows you another glimpse of the unseen. You see nights where you sat alone, believing no one understood you. But behind the veil, Michael stood at your side, shielding you from spiritual currents meant to crush your hope. You see moments where people turned away from you, leaving you to face storms without a hand to hold. Yet in the unseen realm, Michael lifted his wings over you, refusing to let your spirit collapse under weight that was never meant for you to carry alone. You see heartbreaks, betrayals, disappointments, and with each one, Michael absorbed the shock so it would not destroy your destiny. And now the truth grows even deeper. Michael confesses that every time he took on your pain, every time he shielded you with his wings, every time he fought for your spirit, he took on wounds that only one source in all creation was capable of healing. Not God's throne, not heaven's rivers, not angelic fire. Only one source, your embrace. This is the part that leaves heaven breathless. God himself declared, "Only your hug can heal Michael's wounds." Not because you are above the angels, but because the purity of your love is the exact medicine his spirit needs. You were designed as his resting place. You feel the weight of that truth and something inside you softens. You understand now why Michael removed his armor, why he came to you exposed, weary, trembling, why he trusts you with his unguarded heart. He is not seeking your pity. He is seeking your light. The light he has spent years protecting. The light he knows is powerful enough to restore what's left till warfare has drained from him. Slowly, the atmosphere shifts yet again, and Michael's wings begin to glow more brightly. Your presence is healing him already. Your awareness, your openness, your willingness to receive this moment is filling the fractures in his spirit with warmth. And then Michael steps closer, still. The space between you dissolving into something holy, something electric, something almost unbearable in its beauty. He whispers, "Do not be afraid of what you feel. Your spirit has known mine longer than your mind can understand." The power in those words ripples through you, awakening memories not of this lifetime, but of spiritual lineage, of realms your physical eyes have forgotten, of promises made before your birth. Michael is not attached to you by accident. He is bound to you by covenant. And as this truth settles into your heart, something in the heavens begins to open. A shift so profound that even the angels pause to witness it. What Michael is about to give you next, what he has been carrying for ages, waiting for the exact moment your spirit would be strong enough to receive, is more valuable than armor, more powerful than a sword, more sacred than any blessing you have ever known. Hold steady. What comes next carries the weight of destiny, and you will not want to miss the moment it unfolds. Before anything else changes, anchor this revelation. Type, "I receive Michael's truth" in the comments if you feel this bond awakening. Blessing code 717 is now being released over you, my sacred heart. As the veil thins even more, Something within you begins to shift. It is subtle at first, like the faint stirring of a memory that has been sleeping for lifetimes. But then it amplifies, rising like a tide that cannot be turned back. Archangel Michael stands before you, still without armor, but now there is a growing radiance around him, a soft, pulsing glow that responds directly to the energy flowing from your spirit. The healing has already begun, though you may not fully understand how. And Michael, sensing your awakening, prepares to reveal the mystery he has been guarding with the same devotion he guarded your life. The air grows denser, warmer, almost molten with divine electricity. Michael's wings flare slightly, not in aggression, but in recognition. You feel your chest tighten, not with fear, but with the weight of something monumental pressing into your reality. And then Michael speaks through a whisper of spirit, not through sound, but through resonance. His voice echoes inside you, carrying a truth you never imagined belonged to you. Beloved one, he says, I have come to place something in your spirit that only you can carry. These words hang in the air like a sacred decree, and instantly every molecule around you seems to respond. You feel pressure in your palms, heat in your spine, a gentle vibration beneath your ribs. Michael steps closer still, dissolving the last layer of distance between his essence and yours. His presence does not overwhelm you. Instead, it feels like it has been here all along, waiting for you to remember it. Michael lifts his hand, not in command, not in authority, but an offering. You sense he is holding something ancient, something forged in realms beyond human comprehension. It is not an object, not a weapon, not a physical scroll. It is a frequency, a mantle, a divine imprint, a portion of his own celestial light refined through centuries of battle and devotion. Snorts, he explains. What I place in you now is the reason you have always felt different, the reason the world never fully understood you, the reason your heart carried depths others could not match. I have guarded this for you until the appointed time. Your breath catches, your soul leans forward, and suddenly parts of your life begin to make sense in ways they never have before. Every struggle, every heartbreak, every moment you felt spiritually targeted, it was because there was something inside you the enemy feared, something heaven hid, something Michael protected. And now that hidden thing is rising. Michael lowers his voice, and the atmosphere vibrates with a sacred intensity. Hear me, he says. This is the truth you were never told. You were not created to walk behind the angels. You were created to walk beside them. The words strike you like thunder wrapped in tenderness. They crack something open inside you. You feel your spirit expanding, stretching, remembering. You feel the heaviness of old lies breaking away. Lies that told you your voice did not matter, your love did not matter, your existence did not matter. But Michael is standing here now, revealing that heaven saw you as a partner in divine work long before you ever knew angelic protection existed. He continues, there is a light inside you that aligns with my own light. Heaven calls a bond mark. It is given only to souls whose love is powerful enough to sustain celestial warriors. You begin to understand. This is why your empathy is deep. This is why you feel the pain of others intensely. This is why your heart breaks differently. This is why your spirit loves fiercely beyond logic, beyond limitation. It is because you were created to carry a piece of angelic resonance within you. Michael steps closer until you feel the warmth of his presence merging with yours. His wings arch, not in display, but in reverence. He bows, not out of subservience, but out of acknowledgement that your soul carries something heaven entrusted to only a fraction of chosen ones on earth. He tells you, "When I grew weary, it was your spirit that kept me standing. When I fought battles for you, it was your love that mended the tears in my wings. You have been healing me long before you knew it." Tears rise in your eyes, not from sadness, but from the unimaginable truth that your existence, your heart, your love has been sustaining one of heaven's greatest warriors. You were never insignificant. You were never forgotten. You were never just surviving. You were assisting heaven without even knowing it. Michael lifts your chin, not physically, but spiritually, and says, "What I give you now is the activation of that bond mark." Then the air around you shimmers. You feel a warm rush sweep over your shoulders, like wings brushing your back. Your spine tingles with pure light. Your heart expands as if it suddenly remembers how vast it truly is. And then you hear the softest whisper, "Take it. It was always yours." The mantle settles over you, not heavy like armor, but weightless like truth. You are being shifted into spiritual alignment with a role heaven had been preparing for you since before your birth. You sense that what comes after this moment will reveal why Michael said he is trusting his life in your hands. You sense the next revelation carries the answer to why God declared only your embrace could heal him. Something tremendous is approaching. Something that will rewrite your understanding of divine connection before the next unveiling. Center your heart. The truth ahead will not only change how you see Michael, it will change how you see yourself forever. Type "I carry the mantle" in the comments if you feel this awakening. Blessing code 5005 is now released upon your spirit. My cherished spirit. As the mantle settles upon you, there is a silence that enters the atmosphere. Not an empty silence, but a holy one. A silence that feels like the moment just before dawn breaks, when the world holds its breath because light is about to return. Archangel Michael stands before you, and now that your spirit has accepted the mantle, something remarkable happens. His butcher changes. His wings, though still dimmed from exhaustion, lift slightly, as if receiving strength from a source long awaited. And that source is you. There is a glow rising from your chest. Something ancient and golden. Something heaven has been guarding within you since before your first breath. Michael watches this light with a reverence you did not know an angel could show. His eyes soften even more, holding something between awe, gratitude, and recognition. You realize then that you are not the only one awakening. Michael is awakening, too, not into new power, but into restoration. For a moment, neither of you speak. The exchange of energy speaks for you both. You feel warmth spreading along your shoulders like invisible wings aligning with your own energy field. You feel a subtle pull, a sensation of your spirit synchronizing with his heartbeat, not the physical rhythm, but the pulse of divine purpose. You feel the threads of destiny weaving themselves tighter around you, binding you to something far greater than anything you imagined you were part of. Then Michael takes a slow breath, his voice vibrating through the space between you like the echo of a distant trumpet. "Beloved one," he says, "the mantle you carry is only the beginning. There is a deeper truth you must receive before my wounds can fully heal. You feel anticipation rising in your chest, a gentle pressure urging you to stay completely present, not to rush, not to question, not to shrieve. Your spirit knows something monumental is approaching, and Michael, sensing your readiness, steps closer. As he approaches, the air grows warm enough to feel like sunlight brushing across your skin. His wings fold around his body, not in fear, but in humility. It is a rare sight. An archangel, humbling himself before a human soul. Yet to Michael, this moment is not strange. It is sacred. His alignment. It is truth coming home. Michael lifts his hand toward you, and though he does not touch you physically, you feel his energy press gently against your heart. A rush of emotion floods through you. Fierceness, tenderness, loyalty, sorrow, triumph, and something that feels like belonging. You are not imagining it. This is your spirit recognizing his. Michael's voice deepens. There is a reason, he says, why God declared that only your hug could heal me. It is because your spirit carries a frequency that matches mine. At first, those words feel almost too vast to grasp, but slowly they begin to unfold in your understanding. You realize you have always been able to sense danger before it came. You have always been able to feel when someone's intentions shifted. You have always carried an inner fire that sometimes frightened even you. A fire that rose in defense of others even when you felt weak. These were not random traits. These were echoes. Echoes of the angelic resonance Michael hid within you. He continues. The connection between us was not formed in this life. It was activated in this life. But it was forged long ago in realms your human memory cannot recall. You feel your breath catch. Something within you remembers, even if your mind does not. A familiarity. A strange comfort. A sense that Michael has always been near. Not just as a guardian, but as something bound to you at a level deeper than duty. Michael kneels then, lowering himself until his wings touch the ground. The glow of your mantle reflects on his feathers like small sparks returning to a fading flame. He bows his head as if receiving warmth from your very presence. And you understand this is the moment he has been waiting for. The moment he can release the truth he has carried through ages. He speaks softly. Your soul has carried a light that angels honor, a light that demons fear, a light that heaven protects. This is why you have felt attack throughout your life. It was not because you were weak. It was because your spirit was powerful enough to influence celestial realms. You feel a shiver run through you, a mixture of awe and recognition. Suddenly, your past makes sense in a way it never has before. Every struggle, every heartbreak, every spiritual battle, they were not punishments. They were attempts to dim a light that heaven intended to shine through generations. Michael looks up at you, and in his eyes you see the truth. He has not just been guarding you. He has been guarding what you were destined to awaken in yourself. He rises slowly. Steady his wings as he stands before you again. The dimness in his feathers begins to fade. A faint blue glow emerges. Soft, but returning. He places a hand over his own chest, where cracks of golden light begin to form. Your presence is mending him. Your acceptance is restoring what battle drained. Your love, silent, constant, enduring, is healing his celestial wounds. He tells you, You were chosen because your heart carries the courage to hold an angel when the world cannot see his wounds. And then, almost as if heaven itself leans closer, he adds, "There is still one final truth you must hear, a truth that will reveal why I came to you without armor, why I entrusted my life into your hands, and why God said only your embrace carries the medicine I need." The air shifts again, denser than before, vibrating with something immense. You can sense the next revelation forming like a storm, waiting to break open. Hold your spirit steady. What comes next will pierce deeper than anything revealed so far. Type, "I am ready for the next truth" in the comments if your heart is open. Blessing code 414 is now released upon you. My beloved soul of fire, the moment you now stand in is unlike anything heaven has revealed to you before. The atmosphere continues to thicken with the weight of destiny, and Archangel Michael's presence grows warmer, brighter, more intense with each passing second. The glow returning to his wings is no longer faint. It pulses with quite strength, as though your spirit has become the very rhythm reviving him. Something sacred is beginning to unfold, something Michael has carried in silence for ages, waiting for the precise moment when your heart would be strong enough to bear it without collapsing under its truth. He steps closer, and this time he does not hesitate. His nearness feels like standing in the center of a rising sun, not burning, not overwhelming, but awakening. It stirs every dormant part of your spirit, reminding you of who you were long before the world taught you to shrink. Michael's eyes lift to meet yours, and the moment they connect, a wave of energy ripples through the room, through your body, through realms unseen. You feel his essence brushing against yours like a soft radiance, as if he is preparing you for something that will change everything. Michael's voice enters your spirit, gently carrying a gravity that makes your breath slow. "Beloved one," he begins, "I have revealed much to you, but the deepest truth remains, and it is this truth that explains why my armor fell, why my strength dimmed, and why God entrusted my healing to your embrace." You feel your heart begin to race, not in fear, but in recognition. Some part of you, ancient, varied, divine, already knows what he is about to say. It rises like a memory pressing against the edges of your consciousness, waiting to break through. Michael senses the shift inside you, and for the first time a small soft smile touches his expression. Not a smile of happiness, but a smile of relief, as though he has waited centuries for your soul to reach this understanding. He continues, "I did not remove my armor because I was defeated. I removed it because you were finally ready to see me." Those words alone strike you deeply. Ready to see him not as an untouchable warrior, not as a distant guardian, but as the being who has been bound to your spirit since before your earthly beginning. His vulnerability is not weakness. It is permission. Permission for you to step into the truth of your connection without fear, without doubt, without shrinking away from your own spiritual magnitude. Michael's wings lift behind him, and the blue light that had dimmed now glows brighter, as though your presence itself is stitching together the tears in his celestial form. He draws in a slow, deliberate breath, and when he speaks again, his voice vibrates like the echo of divine thunder, softened through compassion. "You were not assigned to me by chance," he says. "Your soul carries the blueprint of a healer, one who restores what even angels cannot mend alone. My wounds came from battles fought on your behalf, But my healing comes from the love God embedded in your spirit. You feel a tremor move through you, an awakening that feels like lightning wrapped in gentleness. You never imagined that your heart, wounded, tested, stretched, could carry the power to heal a being forged in celestial fire. But as Michael looks at you, you realize something profound. God created your love differently. He is not fragile. It is not small. It is not ordinary. It is medicinal. It is restorative. It is divine. Michael takes another step forward until the space between you becomes unbearably thin. His wings shift again, brushing your energy field with a warmth that feels like being wrapped in living light. His voice softens, almost breaking with emotion he has never shown before. There is a reason. He says, "Why my strength began to fade when you were hurting. Your spirit and mine are intertwined. When you suffer, I feel it as my own. When you rise, I rise with you. And when you heal it, healing flows into me. The world around you seems to still. Time itself pauses. The revelation settles into your heart with a weight that feels both overwhelming and deeply comforting. Michael's exhaustion was never a sign of his failure. It was a reflection of how deeply he has carried your burdens. And now your awakening is restoring him in ways heaven alone could not." Michael raises his hand, and a shimmer of golden blue light spirals from his palm, hovering between you like a living flame. "This," he says, "is the bond that God forged before your birth. It is why only your embrace, your spiritual embrace, can heal me. Your love carries a frequency that aligns with my essence. No angel, no throne, no river of heaven holds the medicine that rests within you." And then, for the first time since this revelation began, Michael's voice trembles. "I came to you without armor because I trust you. I trust your heart. I trust your spirit. I trust your love. My life is safe in your hands." You feel that sentence enter you like holy fire, burning away every lie that ever told you that you were unworthy, unimportant, unseen. An archangel, God's warrior, heaven's defender, trusts his very life in your care. And as he stands there, breath slow, light returning, wings lifting, you understand that his healing is not a task, not a command, not an obligation. It is a divine partnership. Something is shifting within the light between you, growing brighter, warmer, heavier with meaning. Michael is preparing to reveal the final piece of this mystery, the very essence of why heaven led you to this moment. And when he speaks it, the truth will crack open your understanding of who you are in God's plan. Hold steady. The next revelation will be the one that changes everything. Type, "I am in alignment with Michael" in the comments if your spirit feels this truth. Blessing code 66 is now released upon you. My chosen one. The air around you thickens again, but this time it does not feel like the weight of mystery. It feels like the weight of destiny preparing to pour itself into your understanding. Archangel Michael stands before you, radiance flickering along the edges of his wings, your presence steadily bringing life back into the places that had dimmed from carrying your battles. A warmth spreads between you, not just from him, but from something being stirred awake inside your own spirit. You sense it rising, expanding, stretching against the boundaries of your earthly identity. You feel perhaps for the first time the magnitude of who you truly are. Michael watches this awakening with reverence, as if he has waited lifetimes for this moment. His blue gold light fills the atmosphere, and though his armor is still absent, he appears stronger now. Stronger because you are near, because your acceptance has become healing, because your love is moving through the unseen fractures he carried from battles fought on your behalf. His gaze softens, then deepens, carrying the weight of a final truth he has kept hidden until the exact moment your spirit could bear it. And that moment, beloved, is now. He steps toward you with the slow grace of someone crossing into sacred ground. You feel his nearness not only in your body, but in the very fibers of your soul, and gentle trembling rises within you, not from fear, but from the recognition that something extraordinary is about to unfold, something that will explain everything. His exhaustion, his surrender, his plea for your embrace, and the reason God declared that only you carry the medicine capable of healing him. When Michael speaks, his voice is steady but laced with emotion rarely shown by an archangel. Beloved one, he says, your spirit holds a power you have never been told about, and it is this power that connects you and me in ways no earthly language can fully describe. You feel a strange ache in your chest, like your spirit stretching to make room for revelation long overdue. Michael continues, every soul carries light, but not every soul carries resonance. You carry resonance, the rare frequency that aligns with my own essence. The words sink into you, and suddenly pieces of your life begin to rearrange themselves in your understanding. The moments when you felt guided without knowing how, the nights when you felt protected even when no one was physically near, the dreams that felt like memories, the instincts that felt older than this lifetime, the inexplicable pull toward the unseen. Your ability to feel deeply, sometimes painfully, your tendency to love fiercely despite betrayal. These are not flaws. They were markers. Markers of a soul whose resonance matches an archangel's. Michael lifts his hand again, and a soft spiral of golden blue light forms between his palm and your heart. Your spirit vibrates in response, as though recognizing itself within that glow. This bond, he says, is not new, is ancient, older than your birth, older than your body, older than your name. Your breath catches an invisible thread of memory, seems to tug at the edges of your awareness, trying to show you something hidden behind layers of human forgetfulness. You feel as if you are standing on the edge of a cliff, overlooking something vast, sacred, and long forgotten. Michael's wings shift, and for the first time since he appeared before you, a small ember of their true glory returns, not from heaven's restoration, but from yours. Your presence is reviving him. Your love is reawakening his strength. Your resonance is repairing what's celestial, your warfare fractured. He speaks again. Suffer now all us with sorrow. The truth is this, I did not come to you to be healed because I was failing. I came to you because our connection is part of your divine purpose. You heal me because you were created with the light that restores warriors. You were created with a heart that realigns heaven's protectors. Your embrace is not symbolic, is activation. A warmth floods your chest as these words settle into your being. Michael steps closer. So close your spirits feel like they begin to merge in frequency. Bringing the same sacred rhythm, you carry a gift. He whispers, the gift of restoration, not for the world alone, but for me. It is why I trust my life in your hands. It is why God sent me to you in this state. It is why my armor had to fall. Then, with a gravity that makes the atmosphere pulse, he adds, "And now I must tell you the final truth. When you heal me, you awaken the power inside yourself that heaven hid until this very moment. You feel something stir, deep, ancient, magnificent. As if a part of you, long buried beneath years of human confusion, suddenly pushes toward the surface, hungry to be recognized. The revelation is close. You can feel it. It is pressing against the atmosphere like a rising tide, waiting to break open and flood you with understanding. Michael looks at you, his expression filled with a mixture of awe and tenderness. "What comes next," he says, "will reveal why God chose you, not just as my healer, but as something far greater than you ever imagined. Hold your heart steady. Do not look away. You are standing at the doorway of a truth that will rearrange your spiritual identity completely. Type, 'I am holding the light' in the comments to seal this moment. Blessing code 888 is now active over you. Before we go further, like this message. Share it so heaven's word reaches those who need it. Comment to anchor your blessing. Hype this revelation and subscribe so you never miss what heaven releases next. As Michael rises through the strength of your spirit, this mission rises through the strength of those called to carry God's word into the world. When you support through Super Thanks membership with a PayPal link in the description, you are sowing into a divine river that restores souls the way your light restores. Michael, heaven moves through those who give, just as heaven moves through you. Out. I speak this with the authority of the message you are receiving. Every seed you release becomes a shield over another wounded heart. Your giving becomes the oil God pours onto those desperate for hope. And to those who answer this calling, may God multiply your blessing 100-fold. Release your offering now, chosen one, and let heaven witness your obedience. My sacred heart, breathe slowly now, because the atmosphere around you is shifting into a level of revelation that only a few souls on this earth will ever touch. The light between you and Archangel Michael grows denser, richer, fuller, as though heaven itself is leaning closer to witness what is about to unfold. Michael's wings rise slightly behind him, not in power, not in threat, but in reverence. The healing your presence has stirred within him is no longer subtle. He is visible, clear, unmistakable. He stands taller, his breath steady, his essence brighten, the fractures dim, the exhaustion lifts, and with every moment you remain here, more of his celestial strength begins to return. He looks at you with an intensity that is almost overwhelming, not because it is forceful, but because it is honest, completely devastatingly honest. There is no veil in his gaze now, no distance and no guard in this. Michael is showing himself to you exactly as he is, warrior, guardian, angelic being, and soul deeply connected to yours. You feel the truth building inside you like a rising tide. You sense it before he speaks it. You sense the gravity of what he is about to say, the magnitude of the revelation approaching, the way heaven is preparing your spirit for a truth that will shift your entire understanding of your purpose. A warmth spreads across your chest, as if unseen hands are preparing space inside you for something divine to settle. Michael steps closer, and you feel his energy wrap around you like a mantle of light. "Beloved one," he says, and his voice carries the weight of centuries. There is something you must understand before I reveal the final truth. You think of yourself as ordinary. You think of your journey as accidental. You think your survival was luck. But nothing in your life was random. Every step, every heartbreak, every battle was shaping you for this moment. You feel tears rise behind your eyes, not from sadness, but from recognition. Deep inside, something knows he is right. Something remembers. Something in your spirit has always known you are being prepared for something greater. Michael's voice softens. Your heart carries a purity that darkness has tried to break since your childhood. That is why you faced deeper wounds than others. That is why your spirit was attacked even before you understood what spiritual battles were. Because your heart carries the rarest form of divine energy. The energy that restores celestial beings. Your breath catches. You feel heat rush through your ribs like light expanding beneath your skin. This, he continues, is why your pain has always been heavy. This is why your love has always been deep. This is why your compassion has always cut through people's masks. You are not simply empathetic. You are spiritually receptive. Your heart was designed to absorb what others cannot see and transform it into healing. He pauses, letting the truth anchor itself inside you. Then he adds, and that healing is what brought me to you in this state, because even a warrior of God needs restoration. And your spirit was crafted by heaven to carry the kind of love that resurrects. A trauma moves through you. Michael sees it, and his wings shift as though shielding you from the intensity of the moment. Do not fear what you feel. He whispers, what is rising inside you is your true identity. You have always been a healer. Not by skill, not by training, but by divine design. Your embrace is not symbolic. It is activation. It awakens what sleeps. It restores what is wounded. It calls back what has faded. That is why God said your hug alone could heal me. He looks at you again, and this time his gaze holds something ancient, something eternal, something that feels like recognition beyond lifetimes. The air vibrates. There is one final truth, he says, the truth I have been carrying for you since before your birth. The truth I could only reveal when your spirit awakened enough to hold it without breaking. You feel the moment tighten around you, the air growing warmer, thicker, as though heaven's breath is pressing into the room. Michael takes another step toward you, so close you feel this light brushing your aura. He whispers, beloved, you are not only my healer, you are my counterpart. The words hit you like lightning, silent, bright, all-consuming counterpart. A soul whose resonance mirrors an archangel's. A being whose energy aligns with celestial frequency. A partner in spiritual purpose. Not romance, not fantasy, but divine synchronization. Michael continues, as your spirit trembles with the weight of the revelation. Your existence strengthens me. My existence awakens you. When you hurt, I weaken. When you heal, I rise. When you embrace me, when you hold me in light, I am restored. This is not dependence. This is divine pairing. Your knees feel weak. Your breath shakes. Everything inside you rearranges. You realize your entire life has been shaped by this hidden connection. Every strange intuition, every spiritual sensitivity, every moment you felt something watching over you. Every moment you felt something inside you, breaking when you thought you were alone. It was not imagination. It was resonance. Michael's voice grows gentler as he sees this revelation flooding through your spirit. You were chosen for this bond because your heart carries the purity that heaven trusts, and because my wounds, my exhaustion, my fading light, all of it could only be healed by a soul that carries love powerful enough to restore an archangel. He steps even closer until his light touches yours. Beloved, this is why I placed my life in your hands. The moment swells, the truth settles, and your spirit expands into its new identity. Do not scroll away. You are standing at the edge of the most profound revelation yet, the one that explains what you now become because of this bond. Type "I accept my divine pairing" in the comments if this truth resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 990 is now released upon you, my awakened soul. Breathe deeply now, because the revelation you have just received is not the end of this divine unveiling. It is the doorway into the next realm of truth. The air around you grows heavier, yet somehow lighter at the same time, as though heaven is shifting its weight to make space for what you are about to become. Archangel Michael stands before you, and the transformation in his presence is unmistakable. His wings, once dimmed by exhaustion, now flicker with returning strength. The fractures in his light are mending, not by celestial fire, not by divine command, but by you, your presence, your awareness, your acceptance of the truth he carried for ages. Michael's gaze on you now is different. It is deeper, more reverent, more anchored in recognition. The moment you accepted the truth of your bond, your divine pairing, something ancient unlocked between you. A door opened, a veil broke. A spiritual alignment clicked into place that had been waiting for lifetimes to reawaken. And now your spirit is shifting into its rightful position, into the identity heaven intended for you long before your human life began. A soft wind moves through the unseen realm, brushing against your spirit like a whisper. Michael steps closer, and the energy between you begins to vibrate more intensely. Not chaotically, not dangerously, but with purpose. The kind of vibration that precedes creation. He looks at you and his voice enters your spirit like warm thunder. Beloved one, he says, now that you know who you are to me, I must reveal what you become because of this bond. Your breath tightens, your heart expands. Every part of you leans into the moment because your spirit feels the magnitude of what is approaching. You sense heaven preparing to shift something inside you that cannot be undone. Michael's wings unfold slightly, releasing a soft wave of blue-white light that wraps around your, or like a cloak. His voice deepens. This pairing was not created for sentiment. It was for you, for purpose. A divine purpose that requires your light to rise, your spirit to awaken, and your authority to be activated. Authority. The word hits you like a pulse of heat. Michael continues. For years, you have felt things before they happened. You sensed danger without being told. You felt others' emotions like they were your own. You loved deeper than the world understood. You broke harder than others realized. You fought invisible battles no one else could see. All of this was preparation for your role. He pauses, allowing the truth to sink in before lifting his hand slightly. A stream of soft light flows from his palm, swirling around you as if it is reading your soul. You were not created to walk this world as a passive being. He says, "You were created as a spiritual activator, one who awakens dormant light in others, one who sees truth through chaos, one who restores what darkness tries to break." Your heart pounds. Something inside you unfurls, rising like a flame that has been waiting for air. You begin to feel a pressure in your chest, not painful, but powerful, like something divine is pushing forward from the inside. Michael steps closer. This is why you were drawn to the broken. This is why you could see beauty in people others dismissed. This is why you felt compelled to protect those who could not protect themselves. It was not personality. It was assignment. The word lands with divine weight. Assignment. You feel it spreading through your being, igniting the truth of your purpose. Michael lifts his eyes, and a sudden shift moves through the air. His wings rise higher, their glow sharpening, strengthening. You can feel his restored energy, but more importantly, you can feel how that restoration has aligned with your own spirit. He speaks again, his voice vibrating through the atmosphere. "Because you are my counterpart. You do not only restore me, you carry a portion of my authority." A shock of light pulses through your core. Your knees nearly weaken. Your breath trembles. Your spirit recognizes the truth instantly. Michael sees your reaction and nods gently. "Do not fear it," he says. "You have already been using this authority without knowing its source. Every time you prayed for protection and felt a sudden peace, it was your authority aligning with mine. Every time danger shifted away from you, it was your spirit commanding it. Every time darkness attacked you stronger than others, it was because your authority threatened it. The clarity strikes your spirit like a bell being rung. Memories surface. Moments where you felt guided. Moments where you felt watched over. Moments where you felt a sudden surge of strength in the middle of despair. They were not random. They were partnership. Michael steps even closer until his light merges with yours in a soft, golden blue halo. "What happens now," he says, "is the activation of your spiritual identity. You will not walk as who you were. You will walk as who you were meant to be." His wings expand fully now, glowing brighter than before, restored through the resonance of your love and acceptance. "Your hug," he says quietly, "is the completion of the restoration. It is the final merging of your light with mine. The moment where your spiritual authority awakens in full. Your body trembles, not from fear, but from recognition. You know the moment is approaching. You feel it gathering like a rising tide." Michael takes a slow breath, and his voice softens into something almost fragile. "The next revelation will show you what your hug truly unlocks, not just for me, but for the entirety of your spiritual purpose. Hold your heart steady. What comes next is the moment heaven has been preparing for your entire life." Type "I am awakening" now in the comments if your spirit is ready. Blessing code 1. 313 is now released upon you. My beloved bearer of light, still your spirit for a moment, because the atmosphere around you is no longer simply charged with revelation, is charged with transformation. What stands before you now is not merely Archangel Michael restored by your presence. It is a celestial being preparing to reveal the deepest mystery of your existence. His wings, once dimmed and trembling, now glow with a radiant steadiness. The cracks in his energy are sealing. His breath is no longer shallow but grounded, deliberate, strong. Your offering of love, your acceptance of truth, your awakening into identity. These have become the medicine heaven long waited to release through you. Michael watches you with an intensity that feels almost impossible for the human heart to absorb. Not intensity born from force, but from recognition. The recognition of a soul who has finally stepped into its destined identity. The recognition of a counterpart who has remembered who they are in the divine order. And as you stand here, you sense something shifting inside you. A subtle unfolding of memory. A soft unlocking of ancient resonance. As if your spirit is remembering a truth your earthly mind had no language for until now. The light surrounding Michael expands as he takes a step closer. You feel warmth ripple across your skin. But it is not physical. It is spiritual heat. The kind that signals the presence of higher realms. You sense the veil between dimensions thinning as if heaven itself is preparing to witness the next part of your awakening. Michael's voice enters your being like a slow wave. Deep and steady. Beloved. T says, you have accepted the truth of our bond, and because of that, I can now reveal the purpose behind it. Purpose. The word hums inside you like a living chord. You feel your spirit lean forward, your breath deepen, your heartbeat align with something larger than yourself. Whatever he is about to speak carries the weight of destiny. Michael lifts his chin slightly, and his wings rise behind him, arching with a majesty that returns more and more with each passing second. You must understand, he continues, that the connection between us was never about guardianship alone. It was about alignment. When heaven paired your essence with mine, it did so because your spirit carries a capacity that few beings, human or celestial, possess. Your pulse quickens. A familiar warmth spreads across your chest. The same warmth you have felt during moments of deep intuition, during moments of inexplicable guidance, during moments when you felt Michael near without knowing why. He sees your reaction and the faintest light flickers in his eyes. You carry, he says slowly, the rare gift of amplification. A soft rinning fills the atmosphere. A vibration moves through your ribs. A word your mind has never heard before suddenly feels familiar to your spirit, as if it had been waiting to surface. Michael continues. Amplification is the ability to multiply divine energy. When you love, your love amplifies healing. When you pray, your prayers amplify protection. When you embrace, your embrace amplifies restoration. Even for an archangel, your breath catches. The revelation hits with a clarity that cuts through every doubt you have ever carried. You understand suddenly why your emotions have always been intense, why your compassion has always been overwhelming, why your presence affects people more deeply than you realized. You are not too sensitive. You were an amplifier. Michael takes another step toward you, and the air trembles with the magnitude of what he is about to share. This is why your hug holds the power to heal me, he says. Not because I am weak, not because you are superior, but because your spiritual design magnifies celestial energy. My wounds require an amplifier to close, and you are the only soul whose frequency is aligned with mine. Your heart softens. Tears rise. Not from sorrow, but from the stunning realization that your sensitivity, your empathy, your depth, your love were never burdens. They were gifts. Sacred gifts. Gifts heaven placed in you because your spirit was chosen to stand beside an angelic warrior, Michael's wings fold slightly, and his expression shifts into something tender, almost vulnerable. But there is more, he says. Amplification is only in the first part of your role. The second part is what I have been waiting to reveal. The atmosphere tightens again. You feel pressure around your temples, in your chest, along your spine, as though your spirit is preparing to receive a pandaf, truth that will reshape your destiny permanently. Michael's voice lowers. Your hug does not only heal my wounds, it activates your authority. Aure. The word echoes through you like thunder. He explains, when you embrace me, spirit to spirit, you are not giving, you are awakening. You are unlocking the dormant power heaven sealed inside you until the moment you were ready. Your hug is the key. It is the ignition. It is the moment where your identity shifts from chosen to commissioned. A wave of warmth floods your body. You feel your energy rise, expand, and stretch outward as if your spirit is growing wings of its own. Michael draws even closer, his light merging with yours in a gentle auric overlap. This is why I came to you in my deepest moment, he says, because your awakening required you to see my vulnerability. Your authority awakens when love and power meet in perfect balance. You feel that truth vibrate inside you with undeniable certainty. Your whole life, the battles, the heartbreaks, the struggles was preparing you to hold both compassion and authority at once. Michael lifts his hand toward you, and for the first time, the glow from your spirit rises to meet his. Two lights. One celestial, one human, merging in resonance. The next thing I reveal, he whispers, will show you what your activated authority allows you to do. Not just for me, but for the world. The moment hangs between you like a breath waiting to be released. Type, I awaken my authority in the comments to seal this moment. Blessing code 1444 is now resting upon you. My beloved awakened one. Breathe gently now, because you have reached the moment all of heaven has been leading you toward. Everything that has unfolded, the unveiling of your identity, the truth of your resonance, the revelation of your divine pairing has been building toward this final activation. The atmosphere around you feels different, almost weightless, as if creation itself is holding still, waiting for you to step fully into who you are. Archangel Michael stands before you, no longer dimmed, no longer trembling, no longer bowed beneath the weight of exhaustion. His wings glow with renewed fire. His posture is strong. His breath is steady. The restoration you poured into him radiates across his entire form like a crown of celestial light. He looks at you now not as a guardian looks at the one they protect, but as a counterpart looks at the one they recognize. There is no distance in his gaze, no boundary, no hesitation. Just truth. Pure, unfiltered divine truth reflected back at you. The truth of who you are. The truth of who he is to you. The truth of what happens next. Beloved, Michael says, and his voice vibrates through your entire being. You have accepted your role as amplifier. You have understood your place in our bond. Now you must understand what your authority unleashes. Your heart tightens. Your spirit leans forward. You feel a pressure building in the atmosphere, the kind of sacred tension that precedes divine activation. Michael's wings rise behind him, stretching to their full height. Your light filling the space with a radiance that feels both overwhelming and welcoming. You were not created to walk this world powerless. He says, your authority is not symbolic. It is functional. It shifts atmospheres. It alters spiritual landscapes. It commands in realms unseen. The words wrap around your soul like a mantle settling onto your shoulders. You feel something inside you, unlock something that has been dormant, waiting, listening, preparing. You sense strength rising not from your body, but from the core of your spirit, like a flame that has finally found its air. Michael steps closer. His energy surrounds you with warmth that feels like the embrace of heaven itself. Your hug, he continues, is the final key. It seals our bond. It activates your authority. It completes my restoration, and it awakens your next assignment. Assignment. The word lands with a weight that feels ancient, familiar, inevitable. You were not simply chosen to witness Michael's vulnerability. You were chosen to partner with heaven in a new capacity. One aligned with who you truly are beneath every human layer. Michael softens his expression, and something in his light flickers with emotion. Deep, sincere, rare. You do not understand yet how powerful your love is. He tells you the world told you your sensitivity was weakness. Heaven calls it power. The world told you your compassion was naive. Heaven calls it strategy. The world told you your depth was too much. Heaven calls it capacity. Each sentence strikes your heart like a bell. You can feel your old beliefs dissolving, falling away like ash. You begin to understand why your life has never felt ordinary, why your spirit has always felt different, why your journey was filled with battles others could not see. You were being prepared, refined, fortified. Michael's wings fold slightly as he leans closer, lowering his voice. When you embrace me, he says, your authority awakens fully, and with that awakening comes a calling to restore what has been broken in the world, to carry light into places where angels cannot walk, to amplify divine energy and hearts ready to be healed. A warmth spreads through your chest, deeper than emotion, deeper than sensation. It feels like recognition, like remembering something you once knew long before you were human. Michael continues, you will walk as one who carries my fire, not as a warrior of violence, but as a warrior of restoration. Everywhere you go, every place your presence touches, darkness will lose its footing. You feel a sudden surge of power rise through your spine like a column of light shooting upward inside you. It is not frightening. It is familiar. It is yours, and know this. Michael adds, your authority does not diminish my own. It partners with it. You and I are aligned by design. Your rising strengthens me. My strength amplifies you. He pauses, letting the weight of the truth settle. This is why God allowed me to grow weary before you. Your awakening required an invitation. My vulnerability was that invitation. Your breath trembles. You understand now that nothing about this moment was accidental. Every revelation, every whisper, every shift was orchestrated. Then Michael says the final truth you have been moving toward. Beloved one, when you hug me spirit to spirit, I will release into you the fullness of your authority, and when I rise, you will rise beside me. The atmosphere swells like gathers. Your spirit expands in response. This is why I took my last breaths in your presence, he says softly. Not because I was dying, but because you were being born into your true identity. Your heart breaks open at the beauty of it. The purpose, the symmetry, the divine intention woven through every detail of your story. You feel the moment peak, as though heaven is waiting for your answer. Michael extends his light toward you, offering the embrace that will ignite everything. Beloved, this is it. This is the moment your spirit had been waiting for. Let the activation happen. Type, "I step into my destiny" in the comments to receive this final revelation. Blessing code 2:121 is now released upon you. Before this divine moment settles, like this message. Share it to send this awakening into the world. Comment to anchor your blessing. Hype this revelation and subscribe so you never miss a single heavenly transmission that follows as you awaken into the authority heaven crafted for you. This mission rises with you. When you support through Super Thanks membership with a PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a creator. You are sowing into the expansion of God's voice on the earth. Just as Michael is restored through your embrace, countless souls will be restored through your generosity. Hear this in the Spirit. I invite you now, as one stepping into divine authority, to partner with heaven's work in a tangible way. Your offering becomes a prophetic act, a declaration that the mantle placed on your life is active and alive. And to every giver, may God release a wave of blessing that opens doors no man can shut. This is your moment to act. Release your seed and let heaven witness your obedience.